Welcome back, folks. This is Tommy, Help with Gadgets, and we've got a interesting knife to do a review of today. This is the SPK Lamia. I'm not sure exactly how the correct pronunciation of it is, but there you have it. It's a interesting knife in that it's got really cool milling on it. You've got the stepped milling on the blade itself, which is something that I find to be really cool. But let's take a look at the knife. We'll compare it against some other knives that I have here to do size comparisons with, and then I'll give you my thoughts about this knife at the end there. So let's take a look at some of the specs. If we get the handy dandy measuring instrument, let's zoom in just a little bit here and slide that on up. Alright, we're looking at a blade length of about 3.25-ish, which is not a bad size for a knife, and you're looking at just under 7.5 inches for a total length. Okay? Alright, let's go ahead and set that to the side. Let's grab a handy dandy scale, tear that bad boy out, and actually I want to get it on. I was measuring a package earlier, and it was still on another setting there. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. You're looking at 3.5 ounces. So pretty good weight ratio there. Nothing to complain about. Alright, let's take a look at it compared to some other knives here. Let's look at the Demco Shark Cub, and also we'll take a look at the CJRB in a Pyrite Alt. That's what I was trying to figure out. For some reason I forget what the name of this very popular knife is, but such is life. Alright, we'll take a look here at the QSP Penguin and also the Vosteed Acorn. And let's get a little bit, let's try that. That may be a little bit better. Alright, and hopefully the Pyrite wasn't out of focus too bad. Alright, those are those two. Not out of focus, out of frame. Alright, I want to do that one toward the end. Let's take a look at the North Arm Sky High and the CJRB Feldspar. Those are both a little bit larger than the Lamia. Again, I'm not sure which it is. The Bergblades Sweeney, as well as the Kaiser Militao. Let's take a look at two Benchmades. The Benchmade Bug Out and the Benchmade 940. So you can see the Bug Out's just a little smaller, and the 940's a little bit longer. So, alright, and then let's take a look at the American Blade Works Model 1. This is another knife that has that kind of stepped milling pattern on the blade. And let's look at the Miguron Montreal. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull this one off screen and bring these back on the same level here, on the same together. For some reason, in my mind, these are kind of similarly shaped knives. They're not the same. They're not exact. This is not a clone of this. It's not a copy of it. They're just quite similar, as you can see. But there are lots of differences as well. So I don't. They're similarly sized, so just something that I had noticed. All right, and then the final pairing here would be the Microtech MSI, as well as the Kaiser Cyberblade. And as you can see, the SPK Lamia is still longer than the Kaiser Cyberblade. All right, let's look at thickness here, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the MSI. So the Lamia is still on the thinner side. We'll look at it against a Benchmade bug out. Of course, the bug out's going to be just a tad smaller. Let's look at the Sweeney, Berg Blade Sweeney. Sweeney's a little bit wider, and of course the Militol is going to be wider as well, or thicker as well. There's the feldspar, and let's do the Miguel Morial as well. There you go. And let's go with the Penguin. The Penguin's kind of similar in the thickness there. And then there's the Vosteed Acorn. So there you have that. All right, let's see how the profile would be in pocket. I'll flip this over here. There's the Acorn. Tell the Acorn's just a tad smaller. The Penguin is a tad smaller, but maybe not quite as wide there. All right, let's get those off screen. We'll do the Miguel Morial since we've talked about it, and then you can see that is somewhat similar. There's the Benchmade. And let's see, there's the Pyrite. We'll go ahead and show that one as well, so you can see it's somewhat similar to the Pyrite. And while that one's out here, I'll go ahead and flip these back open, just in case I got this out of the screen a while ago, so that you can kind of see that the Lamia is a tad larger than the Pyrite. All right. So I think that'll give you some idea of the size of the knife and the thickness and how it is closed. Now the blade steel on this is, well, let me find it again. It's actually here on the blade. It's L-Max. And while we're talking about that, you've got the SPK logo there on the clip, which is nicely milled as well. It's got its own pattern, and then SPK here on the blade itself. So, but there's a close-up of the knife so that you can take a look at the awesome milling on it. Some chamfering there. And while we're talking about it, there's really no jimping on this knife. It's just a smooth, simple handle. There is no lanyard hole or a way to affix a lanyard on this knife, so that if that's something that's important to you, you may want to look elsewhere. You can see the blade finish. It's that stepped pattern, but it looks to me more like a working finish on this particular knife. Opening methods, it's going to be the reverse flick or using your thumb. The reverse flick works very well. No complaints there. To me, the detent on this knife is just a tad light. And it's fairly light blade, so it's not a fall shut blade, but there's nothing wrong with the way this one, the action on this one. So there you have that. All right, price on this, I think these run about $800, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I asked the gentleman who owns the knife, and that's Mr. Eddy, by the way, who was gracious enough to allow me to disassemble, clean this knife, and you can find that in the list of in the playlist of disassembly and cleaning. He's allowed me to carry it, use it, and all that kind of good stuff. So really appreciate him allowing me to do that. Detent, again, I mentioned that the detent was a little bit light in my opinion. Lockup is it looks pretty good to me, and the scale material, of course, is titanium. Let's look at those. That's not T. I think that's a T6. Let's grab a T8. I think these are. They're not T8s either. These may be T10s. I go over that on my disassembly cleaning video. But yeah, T10s on that. And T10 on the pivot as well. So good hardware in my opinion on the knife. All right, let's pull out a pair of pants here. Let's see how it fits in pocket, how it looks in pocket. And noticed not a whole lot of issue with sliding in and out of pocket, and that's how it's going to look in pocket. So it looks really nice. The logo itself is not objectionable in my opinion. It's not quite a deep carry, but it's pert near, close enough for me. So not a problem at all. In hand, it's comfortable. I wish there was something of a choil here, or like a forward choil, to kind of differentiate where your finger is on the blade, or on the scale. You don't want it getting up on that blade, but it's just one smooth swash there. There are some indicators, like you can feel that portion there a little bit, but this knife here, it's actually got a forward choil that you've got this. You've got your one finger here, and you've got your finger here. So just a little nitpick on this particular knife here. It's a very smooth, very quite thin. If you have it in pocket and you're reaching in to get something, for example, I carry a earbuds and a hank in my right pocket. If I'm reaching in to get one of those things, this is smooth construction. It's not going to be one that'll tear your hands up. And while it is comfortable in hand, while it is great materials, the milling on the blade is, to me, it's awesome. This knife just wasn't for me. This knife just wasn't for me. It's just not something that that I was blown away by, especially for the price. I've heard it compared to the Oz Machine Company Roosevelt, and I've had 2 or 3 of those, which I tend to like better than these, and that's just my personal preference. It's a really cool knife, but it's just not one for me. So there you have it. Hope that's been somewhat informative to you. One reason is I've noticed when closing this on the Oz Machine Company, when you disengage, it's up on the detent ball, or one of the detent balls is up on the blade immediately. There's a little bit of a there's a little bit of play. Play is not the right word. It takes a little bit from where you disengage till it gets up on that detent ball, and that's from here to here. It's actually hits the detent ball there, and then it's up on it. So to me, the the operation of the eyes is just a little bit smoother. But that's not to detract from from a good American made blade here. So there you have it. That's the SPK Lamia. Again, I'm not sure exactly which way it's supposed to be pronounced. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the knife, or tell me how to pronounce the knife if you know. Appreciate you watching. Hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and hope to see you again soon. Thanks.